Yo. Welcome back. It's been what, couple days, 3-4 days since our last stream. Last stream was good. Good PA. Did end in a loss, however, but I mean I can actually just do a quick update of them. The loss that we took was this one right here. I think it was a very good trade to take, I'll call this an A+ trade. The only thing, and this is why we have a checklist. The only reason why, in my opinion, this failed was because it was against our bias, right? It was against our bias, and that was it. We had LRL below, protected low. We swept liquidity in the form of a protected low that took out protected low. Protected high that took out protected high. And then I put here, Dodgy actually rated this an A+ as well, but again, both against the bias. One worked, one didn't. Just one of those. And then I think, I'm not going to go over every trade that has gone through since then, but I believe on Monday it was a very good day. It was just a really good PA. So one of the most annoying things happened to me on Monday. If you see this here, this is literally an A+ setup. There were, I think, data lows below or like a massive imbalance below. I can't remember which. But I was waiting for this setup absolutely the whole day. No, it wasn't an imbalance, sorry. New week opening gap. So I was waiting for that the whole day, like genuinely the whole day. And we got the close, but the close was just below where we needed it to be. Like just below. You see this here? It should have been just below that fair value gap, and we'd have been able to enter it. And then it ended up being an absolutely incredible trade. I think it was like a 1-5. But yeah, it was a really good trade. And then we had a 1-2 as well. This was a decent trade. Not bad indeed. So yeah, when we're talking about daily bias, we had some weird price action. We had a very massive candle here at around 4:30. Not sure what that was. I don't know what news that was, but we did. Currently trading back into this imbalance. What are you saying, Craftsy, bro? Yeah, currently trading back into this imbalance. Getting out of the way. Happier to do that early on in the session, just because then we can look for longs once we get below the consequent encroachment of this. But yeah, better that that's done earlier, in my opinion. So we want to see it trade. Yeah, there we go. And we want to see it inverse these. What you saying, bro? Who's that? Who even is that? Craftsy. So her name is Craftsy. But yeah, there we go, market open. So typically when we have market open, we have these highly volatile candles. That's what we're seeing now. Why do I feel like this is someone from SIS, bro? State your name. State your name, G. I said maybe. That has to be Leo, has to be. Oh, this guy's distracting me. What the fuck? But what we wanted to see, it's Lionel, bro. It's Lionel, it's fucking Jerry. I feel like Jerry would move weird like this, bro. Callum, grow up. No, Callum, actually grow up. Yeah, say nothing in it. They told me, bro. It's calm, bro. But nah, yeah. So we traded below this consequent encroachment, and that's typically when we want to see our, I don't know, our reversal. Market open. We usually want to wait for market open to finish. But like I said, every time you hop on the charts, you always want to build yourself a narrative. The narrative for today, I'm definitely bullish. We could see a push lower, take out these protected lows. Cheeky one, bro. Yeah, this guy's just weird, fam. Whoever you are, fam. Oh god. And we also got a little volume imbalance up here as well. Anyway. So when I hopped on the charts earlier, before I hopped on stream, I was looking at this fair value gap the whole time, right? So this 15-minute fair value gap, I really was waiting for price to trade into that, preferably below this consequent encroachment, to then look for any longs. We kind of rejected off it quite volatile, so it's going to be tough for me to find any longs. But really, these are our targets. So we got this high sitting inside a volume imbalance. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about before that. There was something I wanted to talk about. But yeah, the way you want to be doing your technical analysis is very simple, really. What I usually do, I start on like the 4 hour or the daily just to see where we are in like the weekly range. Again, for the past couple weeks, we've been very bearish. We kind of dumped quite a lot. And then obviously recently we've been rejecting. We've been starting to move back up. On the daily, usually when we have cleaner price action, whenever we close below the previous day lows, we're always bearish for the next day, and then vice versa. Whenever we close above the previous day highs, we're always bullish for the next day. So it kind of just works like that. I kind of just look at that just to see where we are. There's a couple ways you can look at it. Like, for example, you could see, let me bring out this Fibonacci tool. If we're talking about discount and premium, obviously you always want to long in the discount and short in the premium. But if you look at it like this, when we're looking at like the weekly range or the monthly range, even when we talk about just this contract, you can look at it from the point of view where, okay, we're in a very discounted zone in regards to this price leg. However, when we really think about it, we could easily use this price leg, retrace down, and then eventually go up. Because remember, price moves like this. So there's no saying we will just go up until we're into the discount, because price only moves like that on the daily. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Whenever we go down to the 4 hour, you can see it comes down. It likes to create lows, you know, it likes to create fair value gaps to come back and reject from. So yeah, I really do like the look at this protected low. We haven't purged liquidity from here. So if we would have made a low, maybe like here, and then taking it out like that, I'd probably ignore that. However, we've actually left liquidity in the form of a protected low down here. So it's very possible that we are going to come down and purge that. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Drop down to the 1 hour. We want to see, now this is when we start to look at, are we trading within any fair value gaps? So we do that with a 4 hour as well. But for example, if I go to the 4 hour, there's actually no fair value gap here. All right, but if I go back to the 1 hour, you can see we're actually trading within a 1 hour fair value gap. You can see we are rejecting off of it. You can see that because of this long wick, it means we traded into this imbalance and then we're moving back out of it. And then I just skip to the 15-minute. You can pretty much see that fair value gap in a more like wider sense, in higher resolution is what I like to call it, because it's just a lower time frame. Higher time frames are just lower resolution. That's the way I see it. All shows the same thing, So yeah, and once you've seen that, so for example, we're trading inside a fair value gap. Typically, we like to typically we like to reject from those imbalances, and if we do, we're typically going to stay above this consequent encouragement, which is what I like to talk about a lot in fair value gaps. And if we don't, we're probably going to move down into the more discounted underneath the consequent encouragement. The consequent encouragement is basically just the midway point of a fair value gap. Very simple. Very, very simple. So you can see now we're trading into a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So when you see that, you want to make sure you're using that as context. Like, you always want to use context in these scenarios. And there's also some smaller 5-minute fair value gaps. But yeah, you can see we had some nice strong bullish moves up due to market open. And really, we just want to see these close above if we really are bullish. So obviously you saw I marked out, I don't even know if it's going to let me see, yeah. I marked out this protected low. Are we going to get down to the bottom today? No. However, we need to figure out what our next draw on liquidity is and where our targets are. So for me, we haven't really left any imbalances on this price leg. Depending on how we react to this fair value gap here is what I will take into account. I also want to make sure I'm aware of this slight low resistance liquidity range, so LRLR. Want to make sure that I am making note of that, right? Because that is a huge liquidity pool. I spoke about that on my Telegram. So this is clear LRLR. It's almost guaranteed that we will go up and to trade into them and to take them out and to sweep liquidity, because this trend line liquidity is one of the strongest draws. And then you can see this as well on a more wider scale. So I said this is an example on a wider scale. This concept can allow you to have lots of conviction when chasing those higher RR trades. Yeah, so obviously you saw this inverse here, right? So let me just zoom in. So this is the inverse we took. And yeah, you could easily hold for a 1 to 2, right? To this high here. But we didn't. We decided to hold all the way to the top. I don't think it actually reached the top, but it got to this point at least, I think, and we would have taken partials here as well. So this is because trendline liquidity is a massive draw on liquidity, and we always want to make sure we are targeting those, but always make sure we're taking partials on the way up as well. But yeah, so you see how, if I show you now, back to that consequent encouragement, you see how we have, so this tool that I'm drawing here basically shows the midway point of the fair value gap. You see how we rejected below rather than up here, so we rejected down here, right? So whenever we're, if we're just playing around below the consequent encouragement, we can expect it to reject. But I don't expect it to reject for much longer, if you ask me. Yeah, I feel like we traded far enough into this fair value gap. I'm actually very, very bullish right now. Not very bullish, but that's my bias for today. But yeah, that LRLR is my first target of the day. So this up here. And then of course, we've got this major buy side sitting right in between a volume imbalance. I'm not even sure how that was created, but usually that is what you see at like the start of the new week. We call it the new week opening gap. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a couple trades today. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to take out, we're going to sweep these protected highs, or are we going to create equal highs here? So a lot of people would be tempted. First of all, I want to call out this trade here. It's probably more prominent on the 2 minute, but I'm going to call out this trade here, right at market open. The reason why you wouldn't take these, or the reason why I wouldn't take these anyway, I'm not very confident taking trades at market open. I think it's not the smart thing to do. Very volatile price action. You can even see here, right, as soon as we closed this, we actually went all the way up here, came back down, closed here. We then almost like closed back below this fair value gap, then we shot back up. But the trade still worked. We're technically delivering from a fair value gap, even though I don't class this as a typical fair value gap, just because of how large it is. I call them momentum imbalances or momentum fair value gaps. Basically just means whenever whenever a candle has so much volume and so much momentum, it just creates these gaps. So I can't really use them in the typical way. I was actually talking to someone on Discord about this actually. He was asking about the difference. Yeah, here. So this guy was asking about the difference between an overly huge fair value gap, right? So someone said the lower FEG is overly huge to begin with, and someone put it's not a fair value gap, which is very incorrect. He just put void, right, which is not a trading term. Just ignore what he's saying. It's not a trading term. He's just, yeah, whatever. Then he's responded because of the side. Okay, and I couldn't let that slide. I'm like, bro, he's not correct. You're getting misinformed by some random brother. And I said to him, it is a fair value gap. You just see it. You just use it differently. But by definition, it is a fair value gap because it is. If you look at this fair value gap here, if you look at the definition of a fair value gap, it is when the first candle's high, so the first candle's high wick, does not overlap with the third candle's low wick. So you can see this is the candle's high and then the candle's low right there, right? You can see the two wicks, so they're not overlapping, and it creates this little gap, right? It just creates this gap in between, right? And on the other hand, we do have these where they do overlap. So for example, these and all of these, there's no fair value gap, right? Cool. So that's what I said to him. I said, you just use it differently. So he said, elaborate on how I would use it differently. I assume you would use it with a fib. Again, not sure what he's talking about. I would use a Fibonacci retracement. I guess you could call that. I kind of use them consequent encroachment, same thing. So I just said, for example, he said void, meaning that is a massive imbalance. Price will 100% trade back into that, which it is doing now. So in the context of the situation, it actually was trading back down into it due to this large imbalance. In this case, it was used to build bias, hence why I'm bearish right now, but it is a fair value gap, lol. And then he said that is overly valid. I appreciate that. Because it is, right? So I wouldn't use this fair value gap as, oh, if we close above it, I'm going to enter a long, you know? It's used to build bias, right? So when I'm up here, at 4:30, when this candle got created, I'm 100% looking at that thinking, okay, when are we going to, fill this imbalance? Because there's no way we don't. It's literally in the algorithm, it will fill that imbalance like very soon. So when we trade back into this, or when we're like up here, say around 8 o'clock, I'm waiting for moves down. I'm maybe looking to short up here because I'm targeting this imbalance. I'm using it different, right? I'm using it different. I'm not seeing it go in here, and then I'm not, after that, I'm not, you know, it taps in and I'm seeing if it rejects off of it. No, hell no, that is not what I'm doing in the slightest, because that wouldn't be the right thing to do, right? This fair value gap, called a momentum imbalance or momentum fair value gap, you use it to build bias, right? Rather than this fair value gap, you look at it, okay, you drop down into a lower time frame and you see a fair value gap being rejected from, you now create a protected low from there. You build your bias off it rejecting off of that, or maybe if it closes above. But they're both fair value gaps by definition, and that's what I explained to this guy in the Discord. He didn't really understand that. But just be careful. People will tell you things. People will tell you incorrect things. Make sure you always get the right information. All right, I kind of like what I'm seeing here. So I actually believe, so we actually took that high out. But I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing us trade into a more discounted zone. I see we might have swept liquidity here. We won't know yet until we get a reversal, or we get a, yes, we trade into a discounted zone. I like the look of this. However, it looks like we're gonna go take out this low again. So you can see we kind of tapped above it. We traded above it just slightly, and then we reversed down. So it looks like this fair value gap is gonna hold for quite a while, to be honest. But it seems we want to take this low first. We still got this much of the imbalance yet to fill, but I would also very much like it if we use that as our liquidity sweep and we close above this fair value gap. That would be great, because then that would be our trade for the day. You know, and then I target, realistically I want to target those protected highs, but I'd just take a lot of partials along the way. Hopefully we get a nice entry. Hopefully we do. No, so we rejected from it once. I'm gonna avoid this trade. Yeah, it looks like, okay, cool. So now this is when we talk about discernment. I know that's like a biblical term, but I'm gonna use it in trading, right? So the reason why I call this discernment is, now if we go back up, so let's say we come down like we're doing now, and if we go back up and close above, I will not long here. The reason why I'm not gonna long here is because I can see what price wants to do. I'm kind of looking at it and I'm trying to read its like body language almost, because price action is almost body language. So if we go up and we do close this, I'm seeing how it's rejecting. It rejected off it once and it's moved down. If we try to go up again, I'm gonna question the validity of a close, right? Because it looks like, to me anyway, it looks like we really want to take this sell side. We do. It looks like we do. Now, if I'm wrong about that, then so be it. But I'm not losing money, but I'm just not winning any either, right? There will be other opportunities to take later in the day. But if, you know, ignore this this black candle and this green candle, if we were here and we ended up closing above at this point, that would have been a great trade to take. I would have taken it, and hopefully it would have been a dub. But it just doesn't look like it. Like, if this was gonna work, it would have closed immediately. I know that from market experience. It's like 100%. If this was a winning trade, it would not reject off of it like this, right? So to me, it looks like we want to take out that sell side liquidity, and that's what I mean by discernment. You can't just be taking trades based off the book. Also have to know, like, what is the context, right? We've still got some imbalance below, right? With this massive fair value gap, we've got like that much imbalance to left to fill. So we need to make sure we do that. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Exactly what I said, man. It looks like it wanted to take out this sell side before we moved up further, which means now we've pretty much filled the whole imbalance. Yeah, not much left to fill. If I take a look on the 1 hour, we actually might be, we're probably going to close below this large 1 hour fair value gap. So this one here. For me, in this scenario, it doesn't mean we're bearish. However, we very well could be. Bro, it's so windy outside, bro. This is pissing me off. But yeah, we definitely can, because there's still a lot of imbalance. Right, what's more influential than a 1 minute, momentum imbalance like this? See how large this is? Well, mate, we've got a 1 hour momentum imbalance literally right here. Like, imagine catching this trade. This was how many? It was 2,000 point move, bro. That is a joke. Like, that is actually a joke. In fact, what's just this candle alone? This candle alone was 1.3k points. Yeah, that's like fucking 5 accounts, bro. But yeah, after we close this fair value gap, I might have to change my bias. However, this imbalance here is getting to me. It's really making me think. So I think I'm just gonna have to watch price action for a bit and see what's going on. Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna close below on the 5 minute. Okay. So yeah, exactly what I said, right? I will use a biblical term in trading, I don't give a fuck, but it's discernment, right? So if we would have seen this trade go up and close before this wick rejected off this fair value gap, it would have been a great A+ setup, had a liquidity sweep, dropped into a discount, protected highs above. Yeah, it would have been a good trade. However, we didn't get that, right? We got a weird rejection candle. Now, if this were to work, we would not have rejected from it. Okay, so if we then went down and inversed again, I still wouldn't take the trade, right? Because it just doesn't look like the signature and price that would usually work, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, man, I was very I was confident that it looked like, one, we wanted to fill the rest of this imbalance, and two, we wanted to take this sell side liquidity, and that's exactly what we did. Waiting for the close, we did not get the close, which is weird, but it's okay. We're probably gonna get it in a minute. And then we're waiting for that 1 hour close as well. When this 1 hour closes, I think I'm bearish. This is probably going to be a hard day to get a trade in, if you ask me. See what these bots are saying, bro. I always love looking at what these guys say because it's so annoying. I'm gonna cry if this be. There's no way these lows don't hit. He's talking about these lows, which, yeah, he's good for targeting those. So he's targeting relatively equal lows. You see how there's just like a succession of lows all in the same kind of area. It's a good target to have. And then someone said you have to wait for the 15-minute to close too. I definitely agree. I think the most influential fair value gaps are the 15-minute and the 1 hour. Obviously the 4 hours good, but 4 hours just the 1 hour basically, and then the 5 minute is just the 15-minute, in my opinion. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I don't know. And then the 1 minute, obviously you just use them for inverses and micro moves, etc. But yeah, we'll wait for this 15 minutes to close. We've got like 3 minutes. But yeah, 100% agree, because we could reject from this easily. We're not bearish until we close these, and then once we close these, we're aiming for these lows. And now once we hit these lows, right, I don't know what's next, right? Because we have a massive volume imbalance that we filled a lot of. We did tap below the consequent encouragement of that fair value gap. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see what price gives us today, man. This is my first day on a new monitor as well, so I don't mind trading for a while today. I do not mind at all. So yeah, I said at the start we were gonna target those LRLR. It wasn't the most like crazy LRLR, but you know. Ideally, just to speed things up, I'd want it to close now, the 15-minute, please. But probably won't get it. Someone said 3-minute long, I guess, but there's no way I'm taking this. It might work. The reason why I'm saying it might work because we took this sell side liquidity. Yeah, it actually might work. Well, that's even if it inverses. Like, these are one of those setups where it's like, I don't even think it's going to inverse, let alone close and then work and then actually trade up to these protect highs. At most, we'll get up to like this high, go break even, get stopped at break even. No point taking this trade. It's against my bias, bro. I'm officially bearish, bro. Because we've got this 1 hour is about to close. Don't get me wrong, we could still move up, but I didn't really pay much attention to these relative equal lows. So I'm going to pay more attention now. And I just want to see this 15-minute close, because then we're just going to get teased for the rest of the day. Like we have been here. This 5-minute just didn't close. But like I said, 5-minute and the 15-minute are the same thing. So if we close on the 15-minute and not on the 5-minute, I'm not fussed. There we go. 50 seconds. We should get that close. Seconds, we'll get the close. Yeah. So yeah, someone said 3-minute long, and it's like, do you really think we're gonna close above this? And even if we do, you really think that's gonna work? People never stay true to their bias. So someone took a 2-minute short here. That would have been a really... Oh, no, he didn't take a short there. Yeah, it would have been here. That would have been a really nice one. But up here, my bias was different, so... Alright, we closed... Cool, we've closed this fair value gap, so we're not aiming for these. We've actually already taken the first set. We really just want to see this get taken out, and then... From there, I'm not sure. I might just have to take a step back from the markets just to avoid entering any... I might even just have to open paper trade, bro, because just to avoid any silly entries and stuff when we don't really know what direction the market wants to go. Like, we can literally do a couple things here. We could go down for this volume imbalance, this protected low. We've got like a succession of lows. You could call this LRLR. And then we've also got this volume imbalance and that buy side above, some 1 minute LRLR. But then again, we did just close below a 1 hour fair value gap. 1 hour fair value gap? Yes, we actually did. But we also closed a 15-minute and a 5-minute, so, and a 1 minute. So it's all of that. So technically, we're quite bearish, but I need to see this protected lows get taken before I even touch my mouse anymore. So I will just... Yeah. Swear, where's everyone? Yeah, still waiting for those protector lows to hit. So, I don't know. Some idiots will look at this. Actually, I'm not going to call them idiots, but some idiots will look at this. And by the way, guys, if this trade works, it's not because it's a good trade to take. It's purely because the market will do what it wants to do. Same way why an A plus setup will lose. So if we inverse this, the reason why I'm not taking it is because it's against my bias. I know I took a trade the other day that was against my bias, but that was different. That was because, like, there was LRLR below. Oh, you know what's so funny? Like, this actually wouldn't be a bad trade to take, because we actually took all these relatively equal lows, but I'm not gonna take it, bro. I'm not gonna take it, just because I literally said that I have to wait. I can paper trade it though. I can paper trade it actually. Do I even have enough time? Yeah, I do. I'll paper trade it. Why not? Bro, even paper trading it is going to be difficult, bro, because we fucking closed all the way up here. Well, I guess we have to enter it. Alright, so we paper traded it. We entered all the way up here. I hate those entries, bro. Like, ideally, you want to get an entry down here so that you can target a higher risk to reward. You know what I'm trying to say? Well, we've had to enter all the way up here. And then yeah, it's like, how, wait a minute. It's a 33-point stop loss, but that is dark. But yeah, no, without, yeah, so break even is obviously just going to be this high. This high there. But yeah, no, of course, just to clarify, I did not take this trade. Of course I didn't. just a little paper trade. Just a little paper trade, because why not? I even give myself a stop loss, bro. I'll give myself a little stop loss, so we're gonna break even there. And then, yeah, stop that break even. There we go. Some shit ass trade. To be fair though, this short, if we get it down to those, that's if we get it, I don't think we will. If we get a nice little candle down to these protected lows, listen, it's a shout. That's if this doesn't work, bro. This might even just shoot out. This might even hit full TP, bro. That might go hit full TP. So first point of partials we take. Yeah, we did get stopped out, unfortunately, because break even on it. Don't care, paper traded it anyway. It was against my bias. I could always ask if it should have been against my bias. I mean, we took all these lows, but I just was waiting for this, bro. Honestly. Also, this was kind of LRLR as well. Okay, no, it hit break even for real. But yeah, no, our next partials point would have been up here, or whether or not that was a 1-to-1. On a trade like this, I'd probably take partials 1-to-1, just because it's like it's already in premium, really. Oh yeah, I would have taken partials like here. What the fuck? There's no way someone took that. What the fuck? What am I even looking at, bro? looking at here? What that, bro? That is probably something. This is why I don't come on. Someone literally, bro. Someone took this. Someone took this inverse, bro. That's a joke. It worked. Fair enough. It did work. Can't even. And they're putting it in the GC. Like, bro. People are gonna actually start taking this. The reason why I'm annoyed with that trade that brother took is because whenever a fucking imbalance is this small, bro, it's pretty much not an imbalance. It can easily get inversed again and again and again. It's not really a good trade to take at all. Alright, cool. So we're looking at this inverse now. I'm not gonna take it because, well, let me just show you why. When we look at discount premium, we're gonna long in the discount, short in the premium. I'm looking at this. One, the inverse is going to be in discount, and two, we've actually moved too far down. I'd like to have an inverse up here, which means we can move into discount, if you know what I'm trying to say. So if the inverse was someone up here, I'd probably take it 100% because of our target at those protected lows. But if anything, I'm just going to have to paper trade this, unfortunately, because it's just not really anything I would like to take at all. So fuck it, we'll just paper trade it once it closes. Fuck it, I'll just enter now, and then I'll so it did actually close. See, those are the closes I like. Oh, never mind. Never fucking mind. It didn't even close. Ugh. That's funny. Okay, there we go. We should actually probably go break even now, just because of where that is. So, gone break even because we created a high and then we took the high again. Realistically, if we really think about it, break even should just be like, well, actually, it should be here, really. So yeah, we are actually break even now. So nothing can really happen now. Ignore the money aspect. I just enter with one contract just to, there we go, stop that break even. If we close below again, actually, like properly, then I'll enter it again. But I sense a bit of choppy price action coming. I need to plug in my laptop in a second. There we go. We'll enter that. If anything, this isn't even a paper trade worthy trade, but I'm just gonna take it anyway, just because we should go break even now. Give it a bit of room usually. Should go break even, then we'll scale 50% at like here, somewhere around here. Okay, we'll scale 50, and then yeah, there it goes. Rest stopped out at break even. Okay, so we'll show the executions. Bosh. One-to-one. See? Cool. Kind of that wasn't even paper trade worthy, but we just took it because why not? We haven't been getting anything. We have not been getting anything today, but the market does not know where it wants to go. But that's okay. That is okay, indeed. So it looks like we're leaving this protected low down there. Looks like we are. I wouldn't mind actually taking this inverse. But I won't. I'll probably paper trade it because there was not really a there was no real liquidity sweep. We actually closed below this 1 minute, so there's not much. But some decent buy side above. Paper trade galore, bro. Always have a paper trade account open on like another tab. That way, if you have a trigger finger, just trigger finger on the paper trade account rather than on your actual performance analysis funded account. These are one of those enter early trades in my opinion. It's like a 1-to-1. We actually probably have to go break even here. Actually, no. Technically, no. Technically, break even is at that buy side. Yeah, you can see there was actually no liquidity sweep, there was nothing. So we're just entering this off the fact that we closed above a fair value gap. So again, yeah. probably stream for another 20 minutes or so just to see if we get anything. I want to see if we go down to these protected lows or push to these up here. We go break even, but we also take partials up there. There we go. That's partials. Also take break even here. And then our next set of partials for me, I know it's far, but I'm gonna hold up there. We'll see. In fact, I'll probably close the trade at that hand. Alright, cool. Well, it was a paper trade, but it was a fucking beautiful trade. This is gonna mean I'm off for the day just because I think that was probably the trade that we were gonna take today. And I feel like if I take any more, there's not really gonna be much. You know, look how much we've moved. We've come from down here. We've moved within such a large range, probably like almost 200 points during New York, and then we had this move here, which is very good. But it was a fucking, yeah. There we go. So let me just mark out all the patterns. So we had break even slash partials. My thing's about to die, so I'm actually gonna close out the trade and then close off the stream and then do everything after. But yeah, good stream. That was a 1 to 3 risk to reward. We took partials twice. Sorry, took partials once and then closed the trade. Literally one of those straight moves up. I wouldn't really say this was a good trade, hence why we paper traded it. But I'm gonna hop off stream for today. So yeah, we streamed for like an hour, so decent stream. And I'm gonna hop off the market now. So love and guidance. Oh, Sia Tech was here. My bad, my bro. I didn't even see you. I would have been chatting to you. You said you predicted in Doddy's chat that bias is those London lows. Took 15-second trade. Didn't take this reversal. I was already done for the day. Could be bullish all day now, even the PM opening gap. Yeah, nice read, bro. Nice read. Don't know if you've seen that paper trade. I don't even think that was a good trade in my opinion, but take it on paper. Look nice. Don't really think I'm gonna get anything else today. We've already scattered around the gaff today, innit? So I'm gonna be off the charts now. Love, bro.